Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Andy Rogers podcast. Today's guest, we've got a very good friend of mine and fellow YouTube podcaster from the Dugout Football channel. It's Douglas Horne. How are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, Andrew. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a while. I know we've been trying to get this sorted, but I'm glad to be here and hope you're doing well as well.
Buzzing, mate. As I've just told you, some great news got for friends of mine. Just want to say, put out there, well done on 1.63k subscribers on the date of recording.
Thank you.
And it's, what date are we on? The 28th of January. So this ain't going to go out till probably the end of February. So it could be more by then, but on date of recording, it's 1.63k.
Well,
and you've worked your absolute backside off for it, mate.
Yeah. No, to be fair, the channel is just going from strength to strength to strength. I mean, I think based on that, it's probably the AFCON stuff. Like, I've managed to connect with a big audience from like Africa and like places like that. But the one thing for me is I always like doing YouTube, and I always like doing podcasts just to sort of get loads of people involved, and I think that's been a bit of a success from that. But yeah, to be at 1.6k is mad.
I bet, mate. I try and sit and listen to your podcast when I can, but we record at similar times, so I've got to kind of be like, I'll watch some of that, then I'll record mine, and I'll go back to yours. Because I've got our good friend Carl as my co-host on my football one, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love it. It's really thanks to Carl, me and you are here now, isn't it? He started us off on the radio show.
Yeah, it's quite crazy how our sort of paths have sort of followed from us being sort of radio presenters to now sort of YouTube stars. That's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's been good though, because obviously you started off just doing your normal content videos, which we covered in the first podcast. Now you've got your podcast on a Monday night, the World of Football podcast, and you've continued on to a Friday with a Liverpool Focus show. And even as a Man United fan, I do like to listen to it because it's not like you've got people who are there for clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
It's good chat. I can't remember. I just started the World of Football podcast last year when we had our first chat. Was it just in the process of beginning?
Do you know, funnily enough, I was actually just thinking that, and I think we started that last October. So it's been a while. Obviously, that's been put to one side because of obviously the AFCON at the moment, but that will be coming back. It's just I want to focus sort of on the AFCON at the moment, and obviously I think the AFCON finishes on the 6th of February, I think it is. So 7th of February that'll be back. But that I can't believe that is almost a year since we've started that. Yeah,
I just want to pass my well wishes on to your main man Josh, because I know he's went through some hard times recently. I just want to pass my well wishes on to him because I really enjoy his content on his own channel as well. And he's a really, really, really nice lad. Really nice lad for a Chelsea fan as well.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I feel for him. Obviously, we all know about like mental health, and you know, he's definitely struggling. He is definitely struggling, but hopefully he'll be okay. I think he'll probably still be on the World of Football podcast. I don't know if you'll see him on other things anyway, but it is a real shame.
Yeah, just pass my well wishes on for myself, because we all know how hard a struggle that is, and the fact he's been big enough to talk about it and know himself and needs to take a break at times is, you know, it's a massive thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, last year to now, it's been one hell of a ride. I mean, what subscribers were you on this time last year?
I think last year I was thinking about this when I was checking this the other day. I only got to 1,000 last January. So by the end of last year, I was on 1.5. And now to get to 1.6 is incredible. But I think most of that has been down to the fact that I think watch-alongs have been a big, big part of that. I think the AFCON community as well. I just think doing like, obviously, I just did obviously the Luis Diaz video, which I'm absolutely delighted about with hijack Spurs. Unlucky. I think it's quite funny that we've managed to do that. It's just live shows, sometimes pre-recorded. I think the thing for me is that I look at this and the predictions videos. Yes, I used to do them pre-recorded. Now I'm actually doing them live, and I'm getting more and more people actually joining in. It's actually been really, really good fun to do that.
Yeah, because of it, like every time I seem to look at my phone, it's the Dugout Football channel is going live, and I'm like, it's kind of like that TikTok thing. Go, the TikTok song. Mm-hmm. It's not the words, but go little rock star. And I just think, go on, my boy, go on, kick on, because you're smashing it, mate. Like, it's even talking to you now, right? This is a totally different Douglas I'm talking to from a year ago. The confidence in you is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's mental.
Because see, before it'd be slower talking. You'd be thinking about everything. Now everyone just comes straight out the traps. I think is that just prep, Douglas? Is that just prep for your shows and have notes ready, or?
To be fair, I do a lot of notes. But most of it I would obviously know through like from my brain as well. But you're absolutely right. Like I used to be very, very slow speaking, very, very just hesitant now. But now I feel like I'm getting more and more confident in myself as a person. You'll obviously know from doing your podcast.
Mate, I've known you for 10 years.
Yeah, you'll know from you're doing your podcast. It's hard work. It is really, really hard work, and obviously I have taken a bit of a battering this week. I've not been very, very well. Obviously, it's not COVID, thankfully, but no, I want to do as many as I can, and by obviously doing that, it's making me more confident as a person going forward.
Yeah, just I jump in and out like. I know myself doing videos, talking to people. We can both chat for Scotland, right? But see the minute the camera's on you, sometimes you just you shit the bed with talking.
Hi. Yeah.
But I didn't feel like that's a thing for yourself now. I think even when you go on different shows, when you're going on other YouTube shows, you're just, this is Douglas, this is, you know what I mean? This is you. And now you've went out for doing it in your bedroom to you've now got an office, which is quality. Like I'm still doing it in my bedroom just now, but I've split my bedroom into like a bit of an office gaming area. That's my living area, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But going on the live streams, how do you get all the boys on? Because you've got Josh, you've got Jack, you've got Reese, how do you go about getting the likes of them on? It's just spamming people's DMs, or
I mean the thing is with me is that I come across these channels so often. So obviously there's Dave's LFC chats, there's Jack Mac LFC, there's the Cop Council. I think there's another one, 1892 Reds podcast. Basically, you go into their streams and then you just like speak to them, and you will initially get like a follow request on Twitter or something like a follow request on Instagram and all that. It's just obviously don't badger them with DMs, but no, it's just all about basically being good friends with them, and they'll obviously ask you to be on your shows, and obviously if you can, you can, and I think that's big parcel. I think I obviously know a lot of people throughout the YouTube community, and I think that's been the big factor of me doing YouTube as well. is actually getting to know people throughout this from my YouTube sort of journey, and
of course.
by getting all these people on, you know, you get people who you can trust. I mean, Jack, Connor, Sophie, Dan, obviously for the Friday LFC one, they've been absolutely magnificent with me. They've been very, very supportive. And I speak to almost them every day. You know,
you'll have a group chat like I do with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think the purpose about that going is if you get invited to go on shows, do it, because you get your voice heard. People will subscribe to you. It is a very, very good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and obviously, before he sort of quit YouTube, you were on what's his name, Carl
Levy,
Carl Edgar's
Carl
football
Edgar,
show, who we both mutually love.
Yeah,
there's a mutual love there for Big Carl, and you've got yourself a great reputation as you're not the average a wee bit for being biased, but you know it's all jokingly. You're one of the most straight talking Liverpool fans.
Mm-hmm.
You have got yourself a reputation as that, and I think that's really good, personally, because you're not coming across as, you know, the scouse cunt or whatever you want to call it, as you do see on YouTube channels. You just come over as bitter and all that, but you're straight down the middle. And if you got,
I think the thing is with that though is you don't want to sort of come across as a biased prick, like many people are. But no, I just say it's straight down the middle. If I say you're shit, basically. Sorry, Arsenal fans. But I actually do like to be as truthful as possible. I don't want to be just saying absolute rubbish, like what's it, like Liverpool win the league, like that like it's not that kind of thing. Yes, we've obviously got a good chance now, obviously being 9 points behind Manchester City, but
I think
the thing is, the realistically thing for me is Man City are not going to drop many points, so Liverpool are going to have to be so inconsistent going forward. So if I just look at it as from a realistic point of view.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, you've won the league, Champions League back-to-back seasons, which, see, as a Man United fan, it hurts. You know, as you know, you've basically got two of our managers sacked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You've basically got two of our managers sacked, because that's how we gauge our managers. How do you do against Liverpool and City and Chelsea and all that? And it is a great gauge, but you've got one of the best managers ever right now. You know, I don't specifically like Liverpool Football Club, but go and try and get me out. Right, I think Klopp moans like a bitch at times. He does. He moans like nothing. But is he too dissimilar to Alex Ferguson? What Fergie was like, moaning about everything. You know what I mean? Is he too dissimilar to what Ferguson would moan about consistently?
I mean, the
refs are awful. We shouldn't be playing this close together. The fixture thing's a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the thing with that though is that yes, he will moan, but what a manager he has been. I mean,
mate,
you look at the players that he's taken to just the next level: Alisson, Fabinho, Van Dijk, Mane, Salah.
I think I think all the players are already next level. I'm being honest. Like Salah for 30 million is a bargain. Right?
Yep.
Mane was what, 25? 20?
36.
36, right. I remember Man United were laughed at for going for him for that, and then you got him. Van Dijk was a shoe-in. It's the best defender in the world for you before he was at Southampton. To me, he had that when he was at Celtic.
Yeah.
You just gave him a bigger platform. Alisson, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced, but by God, what a keeper. I look at Jordan Henderson, Trent, Andy Robertson, even still getting something out of James Milner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that shows he's a great coach. And you can only look at what he's done from back at Mainz and Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
Because since sort of Ranić came into Man United, I sort of knew about him since Schalke and that, and done my homework. But you look at just what Klopp's done, seeing what that pressing game was about. Because I'm not calling it gegenpressing, because it's just a buzzword. It's pressing. Right? It's just a buzzword to me.
Yeah.
And I just look at what Klopp does, and I'd hate to play Liverpool. Because yous are the busiest team going between yous and City.
Yeah.
And what he's getting out of Salah, I mean, remember that one season flop wheel that continues out? He's not going to do it. His numbers are going to drop. I kept saying it. I was just like, you know what? He's the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
And he's been.
Yes.
I understand him sort of being robbed for the Ballon d'Or, but not for Messi. Should have been for Lewandowski.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win a Ballon d'Or in the next 2 years, get out.
Yeah.
Because the goals to game ratio is disgusting. It's actually disgusting. I mean, I hate Suarez, but Suarez was a great player. Suarez is one of the best strikers I've seen at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Just, can you imagine him in this Klopp system? He'd be relentless, mate. Even now at 35, he'd still do it.
Yeah. And I think with signing Luis Diaz, well, obviously that's going to be happening. Which came out of absolutely nowhere, by the way.
Yeah, but you've done an Aston Villa here, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
You've totally done an Aston Villa here. But I'd actually seen something, right, in November about you were scouting him, and I thought, right, if you're looking at him, why are United not looking at him? Why are City not looking at him? Because we all do go for the same sort of players.
Yeah.
We go for the players in the top percentage of players, and I'm going, right, who's he? Started doing a bit of looking at him, and I'm going, Jesus, player. You know what I mean? Absolute player there. And even if I'm not coming in January, even I'm coming in the summer, it's still another addition where the likes of Bobby having 18 months in his deal and Salah is the same. I think Mane's about the same as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's going to look to turn that over.
Yeah,
and thoughts on the transition of it?
I think the thing is we've been needing fresh investment for the front three. You've got Mane, you've got Salah, Bobby, Jota. I think Jota's 24, and now Diaz has just turned 25 as well. We're getting a player we're going to have the prime years of his career. Yeah, it's just fantastic, and he can play across the whole of the front three. I mean, look at the front line at the moment: Mane, Salah, Jota, Firmino, Diaz. I mean, that is hot property for sure. It looks like Origi and Minamino will probably be going. I think Phillips might be going as well. So
yeah, I've seen a lot about Phillips going.
No, it's all about sort of next summer whether or not one of the front three maybe goes. I mean, the most likely one is probably Mane or Firmino, but
I think it could be Salah if you don't give him what he wants.
Oh, honestly, I really, really want Salah to sign a new contract. But
could you break this wage structure?
Yeah, I know that
because I think it's a bit like, don't know how much you remember. Do you remember Roy Keane done it at Man United? He got over 100 grand. I think he got up to 120 grand. But at the point, he's one of the best midfielders in the league. It was peak skinhead Roy Keane. If Roy Keane doesn't play in Man United, don't win.
Yeah,
I think you're at that point right now, and I think you need to give him whatever he wants. And I know it's going to break the wage structure, but you're handling like you've seen what the kickoff like Rory Jennings has said. Just give him the money.
Mm-hmm.
Just give him the money, because I think you could. If you don't, do that, or you're in danger of not replacing him properly.
Mm-hmm.
And those level of goals. I mean, never mind his work ethic, right? Because he gets covered by Henderson and that for it.
Yeah.
But you can't afford to lose 30 plus goals a season.
No. No,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely not. I think the thing is with Salah is that yes, it'd be fantastic if he stays in the contract for sure. But the one thing I can say as well, I think a deal was already done. I honestly do. I think the club are just waiting for the right time to announce it. He's happy. He wants to stay there. I think, obviously, we are recording this on the 28th of January.
Yeah.
Were he to win the AFCON, then that would probably propel him closer to be getting the Ballon d'Or. But it all depends on the rest of this rest of the season. But as I say, the Ballon d'Or is a popularity contest. It has been since the time I remember it. 2010 was obviously Luka Modric.
Mate, even before that, right? 1999, Rivaldo got it over David Beckham.
Yeah.
Right, Rivaldo done nothing. Rivaldo got put out in the group stages of the Champions League. David Beckham won every trophy that season. And I know folk like, oh, you're a Man United fanboy. David Beckham won the treble. You look at every key Manchester United moment that year. Who's at the heart of it? Who puts it at 1-1 against Tottenham in the last game of the season? David Beckham.
Yeah.
You know, you look at his assists for that season, it's like 23, 24 assists. Who put the ball in for Andy Cole Andy Cole for Paul Scholes to equalise in the San Siro? David Beckham. You know what I mean?
David Beckham.
2 corners for the Champions League final. Becks again. And the Ballon d'Or's just a joke, mate. Ronaldo and Messi shouldn't be anywhere near it. This year it should have been Lewandowski, Salah, then Haaland. Or De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it probably should have been. Because that's where I think we're past the age of Ronaldo, Messi, Suarez. I think they are out of it now, and I think players like Lewandowski have been robbed. Salah not making team of the year is the worst part of it all. That was a farce. He literally held together your title charge, or even not even title charge, keeping you in and around, third.
Yeah.
When you obviously fell off a cliff last year. But if you went on to win the league this year, just saying you do right, that year off last year looks fine. You know what I mean? Like City done when you won the league. And the league was done by Christmas the last 2 years. So, not that I want you to win the league. I don't want City to win the league. I'm in a bit of going, I don't even care anymore. Just get us top 4.
I bet.
But I guess it's got to a point where, your front 3, they've done that much. You know what I mean? They've done that much. And now in a Carabao Cup final against
Chelsea.
Who won it? Chelsea. That'll be another interesting game because it's, Klopp versus Tuchel again.
Yeah.
And obviously Tuchel could be up for this. Tuchel could be sacked before then because you know what Chelsea's like.
Do you know the funny thing was, I wish that game was sooner. Because I actually think had we played a couple of weeks back, I reckon we would beat Chelsea. But a one-off game, you never know.
Yeah, we know that. Both know that ourselves, We've both had those isolated games where you're in a bad run, but you get that one game and you're going, win.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen in finals.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, how do you manage doing daily? Moving on back to the more YouTube content, Douglas, how do you manage to do content daily? Working, you got your fiancé, you've actually got a life to live as well. How does that all just come about?
I don't really.
It's hard work.
It is. I don't really have a plan, to be honest. I sort of just like plan what days I'm going to put videos out for. So usually Monday would be Bundesliga, like SPFL on a Tuesday, and then obviously if anything breaks, and obviously you do that as well. But now that I'm thinking about it, live streams are looking like the way forward for me. Because it feels like I'm getting more and more subscribers from live streams, which is mental. But
Yeah,
I think from obviously doing AFCON predictions, and obviously doing them recorded as well, the views I'm getting have been absolutely amazing. I think I've had like 12,000 people watching my videos in like the last 29 days or so. That's absolutely mental. I was getting like maybe I was maybe lucky to get maybe like 1,000 people watching throughout the 29 days, 2,000. To get 12K so far is just astonishing, and it just goes to show that I'm getting better at what I am doing, and I'm doing a good job about it, and people are enjoying my content, which is the main thing. I'm nothing about views. I'm nothing about subscribers. I'm all about basically putting the content out that I enjoy, and if people enjoy it, they enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I've just I've done a podcast last Friday, and guys so opinionated. It's going to be, people are going to like it or they won't. Very opinionated, and I'm at the point, same as you. Listen, I enjoy doing the podcast. If you don't enjoy it, people will enjoy it because it peeks behind the curtain at the music scene, and it peeks behind the world at football. So you may enjoy. I think you'll enjoy the sort of first half of the podcast. So it's 2.5 hours. I think I'm going to put it out as one. I was going to put it out as two, but I was like thinking like, oh, I want people to enjoy it initially. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm enjoying doing it. Yeah, I'd love to get loads of subscribers and that and listens and all that. But if people are enjoying it, if it's 5 people that enjoy it, that's cool.
Yeah.
And also, I've got to be honest, see when you said you were doing AFCON, I was like, don't take this wrong. I was like, oh, that's going to be fucking pointless. Because no one fucking watches it. Right? And I literally watched one of them and seen the views and I was like, yeah, well, I'm fucking wrong. I'm clearly a fucking idiot. And I've been watching the AFCON, so, and obviously it's on Sky as well, so I think people will, oh, that game's on, let's see who's doing content about it. And obviously you're one of the few people doing it, so, which people have missed a trick here. They really have, and also you've watched a hell of a lot of the games, you've done live streams when you've had time. And but that wasn't a hit out of you. I just thought, I think AFCON personally, I just look and go, no for me. But obviously, my opinion's absolutely worth nothing because the views that are, as you say, 12K views in the last 29 days.
Yeah.
And you're on, 1.6K subs. I bet you wish that just turned around, like hit the bloody subscribe button when you're watching, guys. Come on. You know what I mean? It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
It would be, but the thing is, I'm not all about views and all about subscribers. Again, like I'm all about putting the content out that I enjoy, but the views on the Nigeria, Egypt, I think I had 4.9K views, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. It's just it's getting to a stage where I'm really enjoying my content that I don't give a monkeys about views. Don't give a monkeys about subscribers. If people like me, then people will enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, that's brilliant because I do remember like when you started, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is working and all that, and now you're just like, I don't give a monkeys, man. Like, who cares? And obviously, we've both we're in the same boat. We've both got sort of same bubbles of friends and who we can do content with. And as long as the shows are enjoyable, you know what I mean? I'm still on a bus for last week from doing a podcast, and I think I missed it. I think I missed the buzz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hearing you say about the obviously Darren Jameson one, that's a massive one for me, right? Because you're a massive Livingston fan. And I've had loads of messages saying, mate, that's all I'm bothered about is people saying, mate, love that.
Mm-hmm.
And got to thank you for sharing it. It's got even more views because of yourself.
Oh wow! Oh well. Anything that I can do to help, I'm obviously here, and obviously, yeah, us knowing each other 10+ years is mental.
Mate, what year was Katie's birthday? What year was that? I was at the game in 2010, so you might be talking 2011, 2012 maybe.
I was thinking 2011. Yeah, I was thinking 2011.
No, so it's not even, mate, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 10 years, that's actually 10 years ago this year. And
I know.
I still remember going, absolutely love this laddie. Don't care what anybody says, absolutely love this guy, loves his football. And we've just stayed good friends all the way through it. It's just been a great friendship to go off. And it shows the length of the friendship. You've actually invited me to your wedding, which I feel honoured to be invited to. And that's not even 6-7 months away. Not to make you scared. Not to make you scared, by the way.
No, thank you. No, I mean, I never thought I'd be in a position where I'd be getting married, have a flat. Obviously, honeymoon's booked now as well. So like everything's just coming into place. But yeah, it's quite scary. I've still got lots to do for that, by the way. But yeah, to be getting married this year. And to be fair, I'm kind of relieved as well, because if you look at it, obviously 2019 we got engaged. We had a wedding planned out sort of 6 weeks later, which was mental. And then obviously the pandemic kicked in, and obviously 2020, 2021, and we actually said we're going to do it in 2022 because we thought we'll need time to prepare stuff. And actually looking back on it, I think it was a very, very good decision.
Yeah, just delaying it that year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm seeing my mates get married.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like my best mates get married. Obviously, I was best man to my actual, basically my little brother in October. And as I said in the post, it was the greatest honour in my life to even be on the front chair. I knew in my head I'd be best man, but seeing him to actually sit down and say, listen, would you be my best man?
Yeah.
I wish you'd done it in private because we're in a pub. Don't get me wrong, the pub was quiet and I just started crying, my eyes out. And I think that was maybe 3-4 years ago. 3 years ago maybe. And delay, COVID. Finally got there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing to see yourself and Rebecca get hitched. It's going to be amazing. And just with COVID, I've not even had the chance to meet Rebecca properly. So I'll have to come
true.
through.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. You probably not met.
Me and Andrew still to meet her. So we'll have to set up a wee day at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll go back to the YouTube stuff again. So this is why I love going doing podcasts, right? Because we go off on tangents and we can just have a chat.
Yeah.
It's the best thing about it, I think. But how did the LFC focus, am I right?
Yep.
How did that come about?
Do you know what? It was, I'd always planned to do something on a Friday night, because I think a Friday night, it's like the start of the weekend.
Yeah.
It just gives you something to do. Believe it or not, Owen Thomas, who does the Cop On podcast, came to me and said, "Oh, you should do a Friday show. You just should do a Friday show." And
I know you're talking about, yeah.
And it was, and then I was like, "Yeah, I fancy doing myself a Friday show," but I didn't have a name for it. he was the one that came up with the name. So big shout outs to him. And LFC Friday Focus just stuck, and it's just stuck by doing that as well.
It's
The show's
catchy.
great. The show's really great. And obviously, like I, as I've said earlier in this video, is that I cannot thank Connor, Jack, Dan, and Sophie enough, because they've been so constant throughout this whole thing. And the banter that we have between each other, it's just second to none. I would not change it for the world.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you're not technically a Liverpool YouTube channel.
No.
You know what I mean? You do content for everything, but I think your main passion is Liverpool.
Yeah.
I know you're a Livingston fan, but it's, to be respectful of Livingston, there ain't a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There ain't the greatest amount to talk about, and what is being spoke about is covered on, you know, the 2 podcasts already that the guys have got, and they're both doing good jobs in doing it. You know, and there is a lot of Liverpool channels out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are the best. I think the best one's Redmen. I love those 2 guys. And Connor's doing a brilliant job on the Cop Council.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not watched much of Jack Mac or that, so I can't comment. So, but he's a good laugh on your podcast, I must admit.
Oh, I mean him, Connor. I mean, we even had Chris Pajak on, and back in January.
Pajak or Pajak?
Pajak, yeah.
Pajak, yeah.
That was just mental. Absolutely mental.
Mate, I was so buzzing. I was a Man United fan sitting going, mate, this is like me getting Housen on, or like McCullough or somebody on my show. So I know exactly how you felt.
It was just literally, honestly, 2 hours of absolute laughter. It was just
he's
the
hilarious,
best.
man. He's hilarious. Him and what's his name that does that other part of the Redmen?
Paul Machin.
Aye, Machin. They've got a great. They're like Batman and Robin. They 2.
Aye,
they really are, and obviously, it's just been a great success because you just start that podcast and then you get him on. That just shoots. It just, if that isn't like a pat on the back to the work you've done, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Not bad for a person that was actually shy in school. Yeah, I was a shy person in school. I did not want to do anything, and then
shy, mate.
And then boom, just like 2019, I started this channel, and it's just gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, it's a buzz watching it. I can't deny that. It's a buzz seeing it. Because I'm all for like shooting my mates to the top, going like, no, you just go and smash it, man. Like, because to me, you're doing it for all of us as well. Like,
aye,
you know what I mean? User, right? I'm on a lower level. Carl's on a lower level. You're the star. You know what I mean? You're the. If me and him are sort of like the midfield, right, and defence, you're the star striker. You're the number 9 smashing the goals in.
Yeah,
that's what I see it as. It's just brilliant to watch you do it, and I'm not kissing your arse. You're my mate. I told you I wanted you to go for this when we done that transfer show on my channel way back in 2018, 19.
Yeah, that's right.
29. It would have been 2019.
Yeah,
and I just remember doing the that certain radio show you used to be featured on.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the full split came from that, which I don't know how much you want to go into it, because I know it didn't end in the greatest of ways.
Yeah, it was a real shame that just ended. Do you know what? Me and Carl just decided enough's enough. We feel we wanted to progress onto YouTube, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just, you get a message the following day from actually deciding it, and it was just awful. It really, really was. It was like it was just like you were stabbed in the back. It just
Yeah,
felt you
because
was so. Things didn't end well for sure, but I've nothing but respect for them. They gave me
it gave
4
you your
years.
platform now.
Yeah, they gave me 4 years to build a platform for me. But we were just getting to the stage where we weren't going to do this forever. And I think if you look at it now, I think it's much better the fact that I'm now on YouTube. You know, Carl's on YouTube as well. We're still going to be doing the channel, the other channel that we've been planning out to do. Just unfortunately, a lot a lot has happened quite recently as well. But
Yeah,
I won't go into too much. But
I
I am
just
sad in a way with how that ended, but we
I
needed to
just
move on.
see from I was a bit of a third man on it, not directly involved with you, but like we were carrying it through lockdown, and Carl was putting it all out,
Yeah,
like recording it and putting it out, and I thought this is a bit unfair, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the guys because they were great with me as well when I was coming in,
yeah,
and obviously you move on from that, right? And it was all over Spotify, you know what I mean? And when you were told about like what that was doing on views compared to what like you'd do a show with like me and Carl on YouTube and it doing unbelievably well, it's like, well, we need to park. It's time to park that.
yeah,
With the greatest respect, it's time to park that, and we need to go with this. It's just like a changing of, changing of way. It's kind of like the way Rafa Benitez leaves football clubs.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
never. I think it could have been maybe handled a bit better. It was horrible to see because knowing what the work you had put in, getting people on, and it went from 1 hour to a 2 hour show, and just everything. I suppose that overall, right, it's ended brilliantly well for yourself and Carl.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the platform to move on. And obviously, got to plug the channel because it's still going to go on with yourself, Carl, Regan, who, when I was last on the show, me and him just ripped Carl to pieces, and I felt sorry for him. The last video I was on. But I'm going to plug that channel, the Totally Levy and Horne football channel, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Which is the other YouTube channel you're doing. And I know content is going to come with that, but scheduling's it can be an absolute pain at times.
Yeah.
With work schedules and life. But I'm going to park the YouTube stuff now, and we're just going to talk about the football clubs, Douglas, how do you think he's been doing this season? Liverpool, we'll go Liverpool first.
I think to be 9 points behind Manchester City at this stage of the season is remarkable, considering that the draws have been really, really killer to us. I mean, I think we've done 6 games. I mean, Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea. There's another couple in there that I can't remember, but off the top of my head anyway. But we've been playing very, very well. We're scoring so many goals this season. I mean, obviously, I'll have to bring it up because it was magnificent for me. And actually, funny thing is, everyone will ask, what was the first game you ever watched in the house? It was the Manchester United Liverpool game. That was the first ever game I watched in the flat. So to win that 5-0 was incredible. But the thing is, for me, we've scored 5 against Porto. We've scored 5 against Watford. Scored 5 against you. 4 against Arsenal. 4 against Southampton.
Yeah.
Like, the results were coming. And to win 6 out of 6 in the Champions League was fantastic as well. We're in the Carabao Cup final. Klopp doesn't do the cups, but this season we're in the final. FA Cup, we're still in that. We've got Cardiff City coming up as well. The season has been going very, very well. We are getting Luis Diaz now, which I don't think anyone expected us to do anything in January, which is amazing, in fact. But it's been a very, very good start to the season. and hopefully trophies will follow. I do think we're very good equipped for the Champions League. Premier League need to be as consistent as ever, because I don't think City are going to drop as many points as many people think they are.
I'm going to be honest. I think the league's done, mate.
I think the league's done.
I think the league's done. I just think, right, yous are brilliant, right? But yous let goals in at the back, man. Yous let goals in. That City team don't let goals in.
Mm-hmm.
That City team keep clean sheets for fun, and I think the difference between every other team in the league and that lot, right, are they can take players out of their squad, mate, and put other players in, and there's no difference, right?
Yeah.
Yous are without Mane and Salah right now, and you can see it a mile off.
Mm-hmm.
They, not last season when they won the league. Remember the season they done it without De Bruyne, basically.
Yeah.
And that tells you everything, man. And they will do like 15 wins back to back.
Oh,
like they done last season. And you know what I mean? You thought who was it ahead before City last season? Was it yourselves? Before Christmas?
Yeah, we were ahead of Christmas, and then all of a sudden the bad form starts to come in.
Yeah, they win at Chelsea, go on a mammoth run.
Mm.
I think they only got beat by us.
I think so.
I think it was just us. I think it was just us because we beat them at Old Trafford. Because one thing Ole did do was beat City. Something he consistently done was beat City. I think we were one of the only teams to take points off them. I think we done them home and away last year. Don't quote me on it. I think we may have done them home and away last year.
I think you may have beat them at the Etihad. I think that was 2-0. That was
we done the double?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Did we do the?
Or was one game 0-0 potentially? But that was because of no crowds.
The first one at Old Trafford.
I'm pretty sure that was 0-0.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the last game with McTominay. I'm thinking the game when McTominay scored for 40 yards, and that was
won the league. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last live game crowds.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
I think that's the difference just between ourselves. Like when we were trying to put something together for the league, they just put 15 wins together, and we'd, get beat off Burnley. Yourselves can, you know what I mean. We drop points. That's the only difference, and it's the fact they've got literally mountains and mountains of money to just go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll just drop 100 million for Grealish. Sorry, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that's the difference, and I hate to say it. I love watching them play football, man. They play football the way you want it to be played. Don't get me wrong. You play some lovely football, and see the way you counter attack teams. I mean, Trent can just ping it off it anywhere. You got the Braveheart on the left hand side. I hate him being called Braveheart, but he is the Scottish Braveheart on the left hand side, Andy Robertson. And then your forwards are just unmatched for the goals they can put out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
mean Salah, Mane, Jota, Firmino pops in a couple. You can chuck Origi off the bench and he scores.
Yeah.
I think he'll safely finish second, though. If you don't win the league, you'll finish second.
Yeah, I think I predicted us to finish second. I think I predicted us to finish second. Chelsea, I don't know. I mean, winning against Tottenham was a good result, but they are not in the best of form.
Not being funny, that's what everyone does. They just beat Tottenham. Like, this isn't disrespectful, right? Frank Lampard said it on the overlap with Gary Neville. They call it 3-point lane for a reason. Because everyone goes there and gets 3 points. Even Arsenal go there and get 3 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
what have you made of United this season?
The way that it all fell apart under Ole made me fall out of love with the club this season. I've really felt in love with the whole thing of English football. since sort of the Super League, and I've said this on my podcast, I fell out of love with English football, a lot of it since the Super League, just because I struggle. That's why I love Scottish football, right? Because I've really found my love for Scottish football again. It does help Hibs are doing pretty well at the moment, but even when we're doing awful, I still loved the fact that anyone can beat anyone in the league.
Yeah.
There's such disparity in the English Premier League. You know, that European Super League, you see my rants.
Oh, aye.
It was funny when I was doing the live stream and it all fell apart. I was dancing around it. I was literally dancing around this room live on YouTube. Dancing around as the clubs fell away.
I think I've been live. I think I've been live with it when it was obviously being announced, and I did a stream, and I think I got about 500 plus views for like one live stream. I was like, what? But it was a big topic at the time. And
I just see all that, right? The Super League, the way Ollie just didn't get. I know he got lots of money, right? But we're crying out for players in certain situations, certain positions. We didn't need Cristiano Ronaldo. He was just a shiny thing to stop going to City. Right? We need the CDM. I've been shouting for a holding midfielder for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to quote Jay Motti, who you've been on his show or he's been on your show?
He's been on my show, I think, yeah.
They're fucking parasites, the Glazers. They're absolute parasites. And just, I love that club. I love Man United, right? But the heart and soul's been just ripped out of it. It killed me the way Ollie got sacked.
Yeah.
Absolutely killed me because he's one of my favourite players of all time. He brought Manchester United back to the people in a lot of ways. And since sort of the summer, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. You know what I mean? The way it fell apart, some of the players are a disgrace. Some of them are an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to go in on Harry Maguire, right, because he's got his own problems. He went away with England in the Euros and done brilliantly, right? He came back and every player who's been away at that Euros has had a dip. His dip was just mental. Yeah. I mean, he was brilliant against West Ham at the weekend there. He was absolutely brilliant. Throwing his body on the line and all that, brilliant. But I don't know, speak to my dad about this, and he's been a Man United fan, and he was a Man United fan when they got relegated and all that, and it was like, it was never like this. Trust me, it was never like this when we got relegated. We're still back in the team. But he can't be bored with Man United anymore. He can't be bored with it. He's just like, we'll sit and talk about it, and I'm like, Dad, let's just talk about Hibs.
Yeah, it's like the tides have turned, haven't they? Like Liverpool waited 30 years for a Premier League title, and now Manchester United are in the sort of a similar position. Is it going to be 10 years in 2023 that you've not won the league? I mean, that as a Manchester United fan must be so bad as well.
It just shows what a fucking coach Alex Ferguson was, man.
Yeah,
it shows what a coach he was and what a chief exec David Gill was.
Oh Christ! I'm going to probably cry when Klopp leaves. That's how much Klopp means to me as a Liverpool fan.
He's there, man. He's
just got the aura of Shankly.
Right. You wouldn't think he's German. You think he's a Scouser, man. Because have you watched that? Is it Three Kings?
I absolutely love that film.
Right, I look at the way Shankly is in that, and I'm like, put a pair of specs on another haircut. That's Jurgen Klopp. And I got, as much as I don't like Liverpool's got, I got massive respect for you.
Yeah,
massive respect, right? And if United fans don't have the respect for Liverpool, they need a slap, because us and yous are there.
Yeah.
in England, in Europe, in the world, right? You put us and yous, the two Spanish giants, AC, Juventus, Bayern Munich, Ajax. It's probably the eight great clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
Have I missed one out there, maybe? Do you put Inter? I didn't put Inter in there. I'd say maybe Celtic and Rangers, right, because of the sizes of the clubs, and I'll get stick for that, but sorry. They get 60,000 fans every week at their home games.
Yeah.
Celtic were the first team to win the European Cup in 1967. And yeah, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. But I seen something today, and United are thinking about appointing Rangnick, and I'm like, what? Really? Like, wow. I thought he was going upstairs and get somebody in.
This is the thing. Manchester United should not be hiring an interim manager. No matter how big Manchester United are as a football club, they should not be hiring an interim manager.
It was the same when Kenny came back to Liverpool after Roy Hodgson for the end of that season. That should have been it. He shouldn't have got the next year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a passion, it was a great respect for Kenny Dalglish and what he'd done at Liverpool in the 80s. Sensational football player as well. And what he'd done with everything with Hillsborough doesn't even need to be spoke about.
Yeah.
Unbelievable servant to the city of Liverpool, never mind Liverpool Football Club. But see, that second thing, you weren't even chanting for him to go when he needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like, ow. Like, it was like the dog needed to be put out of his misery.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was fair on it was a bit like Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
Dog needed to be put out of his misery. And if anyone watched that interview with Ollie when he left and done that interview, which, mate, that must have took something else to do.
Aye.
And if you watch that, I mean, I cried my eyes at it. And I'm a big bear when it comes to crying, but when you see him crying because he loves the club that much, bear in mind, he grew up a Liverpool fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just think the club's in absolute disarray. It says everything, right? When Cavani and Ronaldo have been two of the great strikers of the last 10, 15 years, right? But with all due respect, Ronaldo's 37, Cavani's 34. Yeah. Why in Manchester United have got old men up front when you've got Mason Greenwood there?
Mm-hmm.
Mason Greenwood should be Manchester United's number 9 for me.
Yeah.
And Cavani should be back up. And you know what? Probably should just let Ronaldo go to City. That was a passion job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rio Ferdinand had a lot to do with that. Aye. Stopping him going to City. If you watch his Vibe with 5 channel, obviously had a lot to do with it, and you see his Twitter and all that, but I'm like, it's amazing to have him back after what he's done, but he's not the player he was 2 years ago, never mind 15 years ago.
No.
When he was first here. And if he leaves United winning nothing, what's his legacy at United? He won a Ballon d'Or at Man United yet when he was in his prime. This Cristiano Ronaldo isn't prime Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
No.
See, if I was him, I would have went to the MLS. I'm going to be honest, I would have tried to go to the MLS. But Ronaldo having those standards up there, I think that's where some of the players are falling here.
Yeah.
You can see it. See, when things just don't come off like that, it's just like, what is going on? How can you not pass a football? You just see his body language and you're just going, you want the best for this club. You do. Quite clearly he does. He's a legend at the club, but I don't know. It's just whole club's in disarray.
I think the thing with Manchester United is, and I've said it a lot this season, whenever you go into a lead, you always look like you're going to concede. I don't know if that's with you, but like you went 2-0 up against Aston Villa the week there.
Don't.
And then all of a sudden you just hit the self-destruct button.
Mate, he made the wrong subs. He kept putting attacking players on, whereas against, who was the game after that? He brought Ronaldo off in about an and a half. Brentford, right? We went 3-0 up again. 3-0 we went up, right? And they took Ronaldo off, and it's like, mate, get on the fucking bench. I want to defend this lane. He put Maguire on, right? Which was probably the right move to go to a back three.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we conceded after Maguire came on. People on Twitter are idiots. Idiots, right? It wasn't Maguire's fault. They've been smashing, they've been absolutely peppering the goal for the final part of that game in the first half.
Yeah.
Rangnick hasn't managed a first team enough to be a full-time manager in Manchester United. And my dad thinks he isn't the man for the job. My dad thinks he's out of his depth. And I know the history of Rangnick. He's an absolute football nerd, and he's moved away from this 4-2-2. Thank fuck.
I've never got that. Never got that at all.
Not in England. I understood when Leipzig played it, Salzburg played it. They were unbelievable. But did you not see Leipzig get ripped apart with it last year?
Yeah.
When Nagelsmann was in charge. Rashford came on at half an hour ago and scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And he was still at Leipzig at that time as a sporting director. I think he could be a great sporting director, and players he'll know, the contacts he's got, but he's a stopgap. We should not be looking at him as a full-time coach.
No. We
should be looking at a younger coach. Den Tag is the guy I want. I don't want Pochettino. I don't see what's special about the guy. Now, I've said in a previous video on my channel, I think he was the right man. And I think it's because I thought it was flavour of the month. I don't see what Pochettino would bring to Manchester United.
No.
I wish there was
I don't either.
You didn't rate him when he was at Tottenham anyway.
Never did.
You were a big one going, he's a serial failure. You know what I mean? I think one of the problems is as well, right? See, all the great coaches, they're all at clubs. If you look at it, Ancelotti's back at Madrid. Yous have got Klopp. Chelsea got Tuchel. City have got Pep. Nagelsmann's at Bayern. Hansi Flick's the Bayern, the German national team. All the managers you could want are tied up.
Yeah.
But in the same situation as we were when Fergie left, there's no coaches there to go on a point.
No.
I don't want to hear this Jesse March pish because he's just been sacked by Leipzig. And Leipzig are nowhere near at it this year.
No.
Christ, Union Berlin are sitting fourth in the Bundesliga, which you'll know yourself because you covered Bundesliga. They're having some season. Yeah. They're having some season with Max Kruse up top. A name I might be hated for this, but I think we should look at Eisenhutter. And we'll look at coaches like him, Potter at Brighton. I think Potter needs maybe a move in between that, though. I think he needs a club in between that. I think he's going to end up replacing Brendan Rodgers at Leicester.
I think so as well.
Because that's another one neither of me and you rate in the Premier League. Great manager at Celtic, but that Celtic team were a freak of nature. And the dominance they had in Scotland without Rangers is unsurpassed. The minute Rangers came back up to the top league, he was off. And he was ran off by Gerrard.
He's doing a fantastic job at Villa at the moment.
To put that in context, all that stuff was laid down by Dean Smith. Don't get me wrong, you can see what he's changed. The wing backs are literally doing what Tavernier and Barisic are doing at Rangers. Yeah. My favourite player in the world right now, John McGinn, is excelling so much.
Yeah.
I knew Gerrard would get a hold of him and right, you're going to be my main man. They've just got Coutinho, Lucas Digne, and they're being linked to the likes of Suarez and all that. They put a bid in for Benteke, Bentancur at Juventus.
Yeah, Bentancur from
Juve.
Juventus, yeah.
There's just levels, and I just think we need to be, and I don't want any of this Wayne Rooney chat yet. He's done a great job at Derby, and let's let him save Derby, and let's hope Derby stay as a football club in general.
Yeah.
Because it'd just be a shame to see them go. They're one of the pillars of English football.
Oh, yeah.
With the way Clough and all that done great jobs there. You look at Jim Smith's job there, you know, some good managers in there. I just think, I don't know where we go forward. I really don't. I've not got a clue what we do. And it's, usually I've got something to say about it, but I'm going round in circles here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like me. You know, when it was all going wrong for Jack Ross at Hibs, I was like, right, it's time for him to go.
Yeah.
And we need to look at a younger coach. And we brought in Sean Maloney, and it's a complete change of philosophy from Mr. Anti-Football to complete football. Yeah. And it's going to take about 6 months to get into the swing of things. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at, and you look at Liverpool from a Man United point of view and going, they are miles away. Now, I remember when Fergie left, you were sitting like 9th place, mate.
Yeah.
And Klopp had been appointed yet. No, still Brendan. Brendan would still have his couple of years there. And I just look at, he's got rid of Brendan Rodgers, Klopp was available, and that happened. And you knew the minute Klopp started going like this with the players that it was coming.
Yeah.
And I laughed it off as much as I could. But I was like, no, they're going to do it. See, when he's on the chat, he's got the back-to-back Champions League finals, he's won the Champions League. I was like, oh, fuck, here they come. It was it's great for being mates with you. Yeah, I've got mates who are Liverpool fans. I've got family who are Liverpool fans, and it's great to see it. It's weird. I was quite happy for some of my mates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was delighted for you, but I had to sign out of social media for about a week. I turned my phone off, blocked like all my mates who are Liverpool fans on the phone. So I was like, no, go away, just leave me depressed. The one good thing about that season is that season that you won the league, we somehow got top 4 with that run after we bought Bruno Fernandes in.
Yeah, mental that. I remember that as well.
Do you know the thing is, I remember you saying his first game, why is he playing CDM and why is Pereira sitting at number 10? I remember having a back and forward to you, and I was like, mate, it's because Pereira's shit. And he needs him at the road.
Yeah.
And Andres Pereira basically hasn't been seen at Man United since. He's in South America at
Flamenco, isn't it?
Whoever he's at. Hopefully we can get him off the books. He's a pre-season player. He'll score world days in pre-season, and then he gets to the real league and you're just going, why are you shooting for 40 yards? Do you remember me ranting any time we got 40 yards for the goal? And it'd just be Pereira shot from 40 yards wide. What? Imagine my shock. I mean, I felt sorry for the people behind the goal because somebody was getting smashed in the face.
Yeah.
I think we got to a level last season, right? And I think all he could have went last season, at the end of last season, and we could have replaced him.
Mm-hmm.
We could have replaced him. We could have kept going, but the Glazers and their inability of capitalising on an opportunity. It looked like yous were going that way, right? And there was a gap there.
Mm-hmm.
And typical United and Glazers, we fall flat on our arse.
Mm-hmm.
Flat on our arse with it. And Varane's a good signing, right? But he's been injured half the season. Remember I said I think this signing's a worry?
Yeah.
Because of his injury thing. And I think you backed me up on it. I think you may have backed me up on it. And I look at going, Bayern got Upamecano, you've got Kanate, you know what I mean? You've got the two defenders. You got one of the defenders that you'd be wanting to go for. and we signed Varane. And for Madrid to let him leave on that cheap money, I'm going, Real Madrid do not let stars leave.
No.
You know what I mean? There's a reason
Yeah.
Real Madrid are letting him go. They didn't let Zidane go. They let Figo go out of respect. You know what I mean? Like, all those great players. They let Ronaldo go when he was finished and all that. Raul didn't have much left. I'm going, what are they letting him go for? Now, I'm a Real Madrid fan. Real Madrid are my club from Spain. And I'm still going, something must be up here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going, right, this is a great signing PR-wise, but what's he got left? And he's only, 28, 29?
Yeah. That's the scary thing about Varane, though. That is the scary thing about Varane. One more serious injury and that's his career done.
Yeah. Oh, Andy Carroll signed for West Brom to the end of the season.
Wow.
Do you know he scored 5 goals? Do you know he scored 5 goals in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Seen that in the kickoff because he was linked to going to Burnley.
He ain't very prolific, Andy Carroll. Let's just put it that way.
No, but we're going to stay on an actual good subject for you, which is Livingston. And since Big Davey's been appointed, it has been an upward trajectory because it looked like you were going to go down before he came in, and he's went on that massive run. You got to the cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah, cup final. Yeah, cup final. Sadly losing 1-0 to St Johnstone, but you look at where, okay, maybe this season, both teams you're in the bottom 6 at the moment, but it's tight down there.
I think you're turning it around.
Mm-hmm.
From everything I'm hearing, Paul's a great sounding board for it.
Yeah,
you're turning it right around. You're making some shrewd signings.
Aye, I mean the lad from Liverpool, Morgan Boys. I mean, I haven't heard from him, but I've heard good things from his time in the under-21s. That's Caleb Chukwuemeka. I think I've said that right, from Aston Villa. Villa fans are absolutely raving about this boy. Absolutely raving about him. We got John Newell back from Arbroath. See if Arbroath come up. What an absolute character Dick Campbell is.
Mate, you heard the story with DJ.
Aye.
Shadow boxing before our first game with his brother. Mate, who the fuck does that?
He's mental.
I'd love them to get promoted.
You don't have characters like that anymore. You don't have like Walter Smith, God rest his soul, John Lambie, God rest his soul. You don't have any characters like that anymore.
I think, who have you got left? John Hughes. You got Yogi. Jim McNally, who's at is it Jim McNally who's at Peterhead?
Peterhead. He's been there for years.
He's got obviously Cy Ferry there who runs open goal.
Yeah.
Who does all the open goal stuff, and tell you what, Cy's a character. I bumped into him in Glasgow in September.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's sort of a bit of a hero to me. Bear in mind, he's done next to nothing in football, right? But from a YouTube perspective, he's an absolute hero. He's interviewed all my heroes, so I'm obviously jealous. And there's just no characters in football now, is there? In Scottish football specifically. Mm-hmm. Nobody's saying stupid stuff anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's hounding refs and, doing all that stuff. It'd be the dream story for them to come up, wouldn't it?
I would. Certainly would. The only thing I can say though is that they'll need 6,000 to get up to play. I don't know if there's a rule about that,
no, I think that's all been scrapped.
Has that all been scrapped?
I think that's all been scrapped because Hamilton had 2 stands. 3 stands, sorry.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Falkirk for the best part of the time didn't have a great stadium. You'll know yourself, you've been through Falkirk away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for a better word, shit.
It's like 3 stands and then like one bit that's completely grass area.
It's just tarmac, it's tarmac or grass area. So, I hope Arbroath come up because just some of the players there as well. It'd just be great to see them in the Premier League.
I believe that's one of the coldest away days is
Mate,
Gayfield.
it's fucking freezing. It's just as cold as Aberdeen. Mate, it's fucking freezing. You're literally on the water. It's cold. Even in the summer, it's cold. I mean, the only other one I can compare it to is Aberdeen.
Oh Christ, that's
And
even colder.
That's literally the North Sea coming in. I was up there one away day and Will Flood scored for 35 yards or something in like the last minutes for a 1-0 win to Aberdeen. I was just like, it's freezing. And we've just been beat 1-0 and I'm going to be on, I've got a 3-hour journey home.
Mm-hmm.
This did not end well. Probably that and Cowden Beef's horrible.
Oh, jeez. To be fair, I've been to many away grounds. I've heard Cowden Beef is one of the worst. I've heard, is it Clifton Hill, Albion Rovers? I actually remember being at a game where the floodlights went off. And
I've not been to Albion Rovers. I've not been to Albion Rovers, glad admit.
It's a dump, mate. Absolute dump.
Love Street could have been a dump. It depends if it was winter or summer. But Love Street, I prefer Love Street easily to the what's it? The Digital Something Arena.
Oh, jeez.
Whatever they call it anyway.
I've heard it's called the 2021 Paisley Stadium. I've heard it's another name.
It was Celtic Park Part 2 for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
remember that summer. Try to think shit away days. I've got favourite away days. Armanville doesn't count as away day, right? Because I live in Livingston now.
Yeah.
But it's good because you got like spoons and all that around it, and I can actually go to my local pub if I go to Livy away. I love Hearts away.
Yeah,
I love Hearts away. I love everything about Hearts away. I love Rangers away.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I love being in that isolated corner. Don't know why. I mean, you get everything thrown at you. Piss, fucking everything. There's nothing better than being there and you win and 50 whatever thousand are quiet. Celtic Park's a shit away day because there's nothing near it, man. There's next to nothing near it, and you end up behind a fucking pole.
Oh, that's horrible.
You end up with one of those bad seats. You end up behind one of the poles, looking at a pole going, I paid 45 quid for this.
Yeah.
Or whatever, how much it costs you, like 36 quid or whatever. I love St James's Park. I've been to St James's Park a couple of times. Give me a second.
That's it.
Say that again. What? So where were we? Away days.
Away days, yeah.
But no, give them up. That Arbroath twice away would be nice. Going in that Arbroath would be alright twice away.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to, as I keep saying, I've never been to Gayfield, but it's probably one of those grounds to probably get to and then be like, yeah, I better take some extra clothes.
Yeah, I'd say maybe an extra jacket, I'd say. I have been away. They must have been in the league when we were in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
One of us were in the championship, or we got them in the cup. So I have been up. Dundee clubs aren't bad. That thing I told you about, I've just got a message back for them about it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm trying to think. Dundee's a good day out, but Dundee Stadium isn't great, but Dundee United Stadium's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to think. It's more up north ones I'd want to go to, like the non-league ones.
Aye.
But no, that's. Where do you think Livy will finish this year? Do you think you'll be maybe best of the top six? Because I think it's between what using. Who's sixth? Dundee United or sixth?
Dundee United or is it Aberdeen?
Aberdeen or Dundee.
It's either one of Dundee United or Aberdeen.
Hold on, mate. Doors went again. Well, that was funny. Last bit of my dad's Christmas has finally arrived.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I think you could finish best of the rest anyway.
I'd like to think we will. But we'll see. You can never tell. It's still quite tight down there, and it's quite tight for the top six as well. A couple of wins would sort of get you into maybe sixth or something. So, no, I think I said at the start of the season I would take eighth place. Take eighth place, and I think that would probably be doing it because I think looking at the teams down there, Dundee look gone. I think Dundee look gone. St Johnstone,
he's so bad, man.
I want them to get out of it because of obviously what they did last season. But
mate, they've made some shrewd. I think St Johnstone made some shrewd signings. They've just signed Melker Hallberg.
Aye, from you guys, eh?
Well, he's a free agent. We terminated his contract.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, technically a free transfer. I don't think he'll be on the money at St Johnstone that he was on at Hibs though, because I reckon he was on a decent bit of dough at Hibs. I think this could finish best of the rest, man. I think when I look at swapping Bruce Anderson for Jet, has been a stroke of another bit of magic for Martindale.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everyone I speak to, Martindale's a great guy. I'm actually going to try and get an interview with him. I'm actually going to try and get him on the channel, whether it's in person or, via Zoom. One of my friends interviewed him. It's on YouTube. I'll have to send you it. And I think it's only 15 minutes, but his story is incredible, man. Absolutely incredible to be managing in the Premier League, and he basically runs that club.
Yeah.
I thought it was too much for him. I thought, is he going to get self burnt out? But he's obviously finding a way of managing it. And I think having I'm not sure what to make of Neil Hastings coming back to the club, replacing Dougie Emery.
Yeah. It's a weird one. I don't particularly get it, but I can see from a fan's point of view why he would come back.
Yeah. Is Marvin Bartley still here, or did he take that Ayr United job?
He's still there.
Is he still there? Because there's all that talk he was taking the Ayr United job.
I can't remember who was actually named Ayr United man. Oh, Lee Bullen was named manager of the Ayr United.
Lee Bullen?
Wow.
Because I remember, I suppose the deal for Marvin was basically, done. Seemingly. That's a mad one.
Oh, it is that.
No, I think the start of this season, I think it's just a bit of a carry on. You know, you had a bit of a dip last season. Yeah. I think that just continued on to this season. And I was worried about you because Dundee started really well. Initially, and I thought, oh no, they're going to go down. No. You looked shite. You were getting slapped about at times. But Martindale's he's obviously got something about him. And some of the transfers, I'm going, Stefano Mayonga, Andrew Shinney. You're getting players for Liverpool on loan and on permanence. And I'm going, right, there's something. I do like Livy. I do. I'm one of those people that do like Livy, being my local club. And my best mate, two of my best mates, yourself and Paul, support them. So I've got a bit of, there is a bit of sway there. there is a bit of a soft spot, and obviously Pitt's plays for them.
Yeah.
Who I went to primary school with, and every time, not that I know him, right, I went to primary school with him, but every time I see him playing, I'm like, just do well, man. Just want him to absolutely smash it. And I asked DJ about him, as you would have seen, and he says, what do you expect for Pitt? So I went, quiet, unassuming, works his arse off and scores goals.
Yeah.
And it's funny, he scored a winner against Hibs last season. Was it last season? Or the season before? Your first year in the Premier League. 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
He'd done something, and he'd done the same thing since he was a kid. The way he touched it and just wrapped it in the net.
Yeah.
He's done that since he was playing in the kick pitch at Pumphy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want to hate this result, but I don't at the same time.
I get that, because, like, for a time, Livingston actually had a wee run that we weren't losing to Hibs or Hearts. It was always
was it 6-7 games?
6-7 games. We didn't lose. Obviously we've got Hibs tomorrow, Easter Road, as well. So look, I think the thing is, I go into that game thinking that we can go and get something. I know Hibs has been very, very good under Maloney. One defeat, I think it is, against Celtic.
One defeat against Celtic, and the 0-0 last Wednesday night against Motherwell. And suppose it wasn't great, but it's a total change in philosophies. Brilliant. I was at the first game against Aberdeen. You seen him go 3-4-3, and I think it's quite obvious Kevin Nisbet is not a number 9 you play on your own.
No.
You know what I mean? And Kevin Nisbet's a good player. I know he's had a really bad 12 months. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he's struggling for losing his dad or that. Which I just want. You know what? Right? I've gave him so much stick online, and I feel bad for it now because he's deleted his Twitter like 3 times.
Yeah.
And it can't be great for the mental health of football players being on Twitter. I mean,
no, definitely not.
What I put out there, I send my best wishes, Kevin McNaughton. I don't know if you've seen the stuff on Twitter last night. Kevin McNaughton's an absolute legend. Best wishes to Kevin McNaughton, because what a fucking football player he was. Great servant for Aberdeen, great servant for Cardiff, and to see someone who, seems an absolute great guy. Anytime you hear stories about him, great guy, you know what I mean? Great on and off the field, horrible to play against. Scotland international, played for Aberdeen, Cardiff. Did he play for anyone else up here? No, he didn't. He's just been Aberdeen. Just think, with all that, just hope he's all well and getting looked after now.
I know. That's what I'm thinking as well.
I just seen it on. I must have been Aberdeen retweeting it, and I thought, what's going on here? Went in, I was just like, oh dear, what? No, don't let me hear his, please, because just so. I mean, it's that back to that mental health thing we're talking about at the start of the pod. You don't want anyone to go through it alone. And I'll tell you one thing: my DMs are always open.
Oh, mine are too.
I reach out to anybody who's going through a hard time. Honestly, it's one of the worst things you can have is mental health problems, and thankfully now it's more spoken about. I think it just needs a bit more of a push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we've all had bother with it. Might not narrow it down to mental health, but it probably is in that category. But I would just want to say thanks very much for coming on, man. It's been a class chat despite the 2 interruptions.
No, thank you for having me. I'm glad we managed to get this sorted. Yeah, meaning to get this sorted, and no, I'm glad you asked me, and I'm glad
Great having you
I'm
on,
glad
man.
I'm feeling more clearer in my throat because see, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was just out for the count. I just was not well at all, but
Floored,
starting to feel a
completely
lot
floored.
better now.
Yeah, because I was like, it was yesterday you messaged me saying, right, I'll be sound for tomorrow, and I was like, right, you must be feeling so much better because you were dead at the start of the week.
Yeah, I
And I knew
was.
that myself. And I was more than willing to be like, right, cool, we'll do it next week. Because in 2 weeks' time, I'm taking a week off.
Aye.
I'm taking a week off because you've seen some of my schedule. It's
pretty mental.
Trying to match yourself for content. You're
Aye.
setting the bar pretty high, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So just finally, Douglas, what's the plans for the channel for 2022?
Just to grow even more.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it off air. If you think I'm going to have 3K by the end of the year,
I think it's highly possible, lad.
If I've got anywhere near that, then I'll be very, very happy. But just to continue sort of growing, I've got plans to cover loads of things, really. Obviously, I've done AFCON. I'm going to potentially do World Cup this year as well. Maybe start doing watch-alongs as well. I think doing watch-alongs are much better for me. So I think I might do that, but mainly just grow the channel and see where it takes me.
Nice one. That's class. I mean, I think you'll get 3K at the end of the year.
Fingers crossed, my friend.
I just think you're growing. I think you're growing at a great level, and you know, it's only going up, man. I mean, you might not hit it. You might, but who says you can't? I mean, you got another 1K subscribers in a month, 100 subscribers in a month between December and January.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I just seen it, thought if that keeps going, anything's achievable. Yeah. Sky's the limit for you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, just thank you for having me, and this has been a really good chat.
It has been, man. Where can everyone get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, obviously YouTube is the Doug Football channel. My Twitter handle is Enwood_1992. Instagram is Douglas.Horne, and I'm also on Facebook at Douglas James Horne.
What does? I'll stick everything in the description below. And you want any sort of football chat, if you fucking love Liverpool, some of you do, unfortunately. Get over to Douglas's channel, check out the Liverpool content, and if you're a keen comment or message him, see if you can get a chance to get on and have your say. I'd say.
Absolutely.
And the more views and more subscribers, the better. So, not just on this podcast, subscribe to it, get over to his channel, and let's get Douglas to 3K. I'm saying this is a road to 3K because before you know it, you've got 400 to go to get 2K. So, But thanks very much, mate.
Pleasure.
An absolute pleasure.